Hello, everybody. Good day, wherever you're watching this video from. We have a very packed week this week. It's gonna be this week is gonna be a very packed week, and I also strongly believe it's a week where we're gonna see a lot of volatility, especially on the dollar side. First of all, what we're going to be having this week is the announcement of the Federal Reserve. um, on the interest rate and across board, nobody's expecting interest rate cut this week. That means we don't expect them to cut rates. We expect them to keep the rate steady. As you can see, the Federal Reserve is now expected to cut interest rates at the July FOMC meeting. All right. Now, and that's happening on Wednesday. If you go to Forex Factory, you see the news, I think on Wednesday by 1 p.m. Central Time, US time. Um that should be like 7 p.m. GMT. All right. So if you scroll down, you also notice that on Friday we are also having non-farm payroll. That is when we're gonna I mean this is also a major news, Friday by 7:30 a.m. It's a major news as well if you've been around the currency trading for some time. All right, having said that, let's look at the technicals. The fundamentals, like I always say on this channel, having an idea of what is going on around globally also is very, very important. So you cannot neglect the fundamentals. Very, very important. So far, so good. And we've seen the dollar has been taking a beating. I mean, because of a lot of uncertainty surrounding the US economy, especially based on the fact of this, we have this tariff thing that the new president has been, throwing around. It's been a pain in the ass of, a lot of traders because people don't know what to expect. And like I mentioned last week, traders don't like uncertainty. So we've seen a lot of uncertainty surrounding the dollar. So because of that, there's a lot of massive sell-off. But having said that, we actually see a bounce. Since I think this was since July 1st, price has been ranging around there, around this zone. So we've been seeing price range around this zone. Another thing I forgot to mention is that on the 1st of August, the same day we're having an NFP report, is also the day the President of the United States, Donald Trump, promised to finally implement the tariff. So that is also a day that people are not sure what's going to happen. So it's really going to be very explosive this week. All right. So I haven't said that. So the dollar has been, trying to recover, and because a lot of people, as you can see, it hasn't really moved that much. I mean, since first of July. Why? Because two things people are waiting for. They are waiting for that NFP. Sorry, they are waiting for the what the Federal Reserve is going to do on Wednesday. This Wednesday, that's for this week. That's one of the things they are waiting for. It's not really the announcement of the NFP. Sorry, of that Federal Reserve interest rate that really move the market. What really moved the market is what the Federal Reserve chairman will say 30 minutes after. There's this press conference where the people begin to ask him questions. That's when we begin to see a lot of reaction, based on what he says. All right. So that was one. Secondly, August 1st is a day the United States president has promised to implement the tariff for those that does not make any deal with the US. So their tariff will be increased. You said between 10% and 50%. All right. So having said that, let's move on to other things technically. So the dollar is actually waiting, on what's going to happen this week. That's why we see that a lot of people are not really been buying the dollar like that. But having said that, let's see what gold has been doing. We saw gold did a major pullback last week, right? If you remember last week, I was mentioning that if you are in any gold trade, you have to be careful around this zone. And that was exactly where price tapped into and pulled back. if you go to the weekly time frame, you can see that price actually tap into that zone around 3,400 and then pull back dramatically. So for this week, like I always say on this channel, I'm super bullish on gold. I think anytime I see gold pulling back, it gives me a lot of a lot. I'm always excited because once you have an instrument like gold that keeps going up and going up, traders that missed entry probably at around this zone, you'll be praying that you have some significant pullback, and I think we are going to be seeing that. Another area that I'm expecting gold to come and test is around 3,288 this week. If it breaks this zone, this support, we should be looking at price touching 3,237. All right. So it's something to look forward to. All right. So I would say that let's see what Bitcoin has been doing. We've been checking this Bitcoin for some time on this channel. Okay, let me take this out. So Bitcoin right now is playing around 118,000. There's a lot of good news coming out from for the crypto space, especially based on the fact that um the US just signed a bill that allows stablecoin to be widely used across America. So because of that, people are really excited about crypto. And then we've been seeing most of the crypto coins pumping, like serious pumping. So any pullback, as you can see, they are quickly bought up. I think this happened on Friday when Bitcoin came to 114. And you can notice between less than few hours, it was quickly bought up. So trying to sell Bitcoin right now, although it's looking like for technical analysis people, for people that strictly treat technical TA, any touch around this area they want to sell off. But that will be dangerous because you can see that price is still really pushing out, or even on the weekly time frame. So, but until I see a breakout of 123,000, before I can say, okay, probably the bullish move will continue. But like I mentioned, BTC is super bullish. You want to really be careful trying to catch Bitcoin at the top. In fact, major crypto space analysts are predicting by the end of the year Bitcoin should be 200,000 to 50,000, per one Bitcoin, which is going to be very, very. That will be historic. Nobody ever thought Bitcoin would get to this price. 10 years ago, Bitcoin was around, I think it was less than $10,000 per one. All right. So let's look at currency. So let's check EURUSD. I'm expecting EU to pull back, technically speaking. Uh, Hopefully, if nothing happened this week, that will trigger massive sell-off for dollar. I strongly am expecting us to see a pullback around the zone for Euro USD. I'm in some sell. I took a sell around there after price hits the zone. I jumped on in a sell on Thursday. I'm still holding that position, so I'm hoping for price to travel all the way down to the zone. All right, like I mentioned, except there is a major crazy move this week. We already know that the Federal Reserve is not cutting interest rate, and because of that, dollar should be strong. On Friday, the only thing we don't know on Friday is how the market will react to the tariff news. Aside NFP, you know, um, aside NFP, we don't know how the market will react to the tariff news. But technically speaking, if you look at Euro USD, I think it's time for it to really, pull back. Technically speaking, if this resistance hold, all right, if it holds, we should see some pullback from here. That's technically, if it doesn't hold, we are likely to see price do this. Price is likely to, pardon me, let me take this out. Price is likely to do this, you know, test this zone, this resistance, pull back, and then continue to the upside. That's if you see some crazy news that changes everything this week. But if nothing dramatic happens, and price has been priced in technically, I think we should top out around the zone, and start pushing down to the downside. All right. So just I'll be watching out for that. And like I said, on our group, on the Telegram group, we started a free signal group. All right. So I'll be dropping the link below. If you're interested, you can join where I share my trade ideas. I drop technical analysis sometimes. I drop charts on the group. I make some YouTube videos. I also drop it there for free. So if you want to join us, I'll be dropping a link in the description below. Ensure you join us. All right. So pounds USD has actually been pulling back. I'm still holding myself around this zone. Has been pulling back. I've taken out some profit last week. I'm by the time I guess I'm going to take out more profit. Hoping that price, continue to the downside. If I see a break of this trend line that coincide with this support, I will be doing this. If I see a major break, I'll be taking a sell if I see a break and a retest of this zone. All right. So I'll be waiting for what price will do around this zone for pounds USD. Like I mentioned, if we don't see any crazy news that would disrupt the dollar, because I feel the dollar should pull up from 80s, except there's a except there's a major shift on Friday. Friday is very key. Right? We already know that Federal Reserve is not going to, they are not going to cut interest rate. But you see, Friday is very dicey because of that August 1st, two things, NFP, non-farm payroll, and the President of the United States. We don't know whether that is going to go ahead with his threat concerning tariff on August 1st. So this week is packed, like I mentioned. So it's something to look forward to. So let's quickly look at. I want us to look at pounds. I want to look at JPY pairs. They've been bullish. And I'm still kind of bullish on JPY, on the JPY pair, because you can see that price is still pushing forward. We see pullback. This was 4 weeks ago. You would have thought that price would continue down after the end of the week, but we took out this high, and now we have minor pullback. So I'm see so much bullish on the JPY, pounds JPY, and the other JPY pairs. For so any pullbacks an opportunity to buy. If you go to the 4 hour time frame as well, you can see what price did there. That we actually form support around 197. So this is a major support for on the 4 hour time frame. We'll see how price will react this week, whether we'll bounce off from here, okay, or whether we'll break up from here and continue to the downside. But I think the JPY pairs are very, very, very bullish. Let's go check the JPY index. I want us to check JPY index. I see that it's down. It's on 4. If you check the weekly, is nearly the JPY index is actually nearly the support we tested around October last year. October 2024, we tested the support, and this is where we bounced off from, into this year. This is where price bounced off from before we have this pullback. So it's coming to test the zone. We tested this, like I mentioned, October last year. So a price break this zone, that means the pounds JPY and other JPY pairs will continue to the upside. But if you see a major bounce, probably we see a sweep of this low, and then price return to the upside. It's likely that the GJ and other JPY pairs, keep pushing on the downside. Lastly, I want us to check Nasdaq, and let's see what's going on with it. The Nasdaq has been crazy. After that March tariff announcement, that we saw price plunge to 16,000. We've seen price, keep pushing backward to the upside and keep printing all time high after all time high. Friday, that move continue. $23,000. This is the all-time high for NAS 100. So I mean, this is super bullish. I am praying that we see a pullback. I mean, at this point, probably to this area, to this zone, before I can start thinking of, jumping on a buy. You know, you don't want to go buy at this point. I mean, it's going to be disastrous. So you want to wait to see a pullback to a very strong support zone before you jump on that buy. All right. So that will be all for this week. I don't want this to be too long. So like I mentioned, if you want to join us on our Telegram group, we have the link to join is in our description below. Make sure you join us. I'll be seeing you uh, during the week. Thank you. Have a beautiful, beautiful trading week.